Rihanna.
Fam. Welcome to You Plant, We Water. I'm your host, Dr. Toy Flowers, licensed professional counselor with a PhD in counseling, and I'm also a professor of guess what? Counseling. And here in this corner of the world, we are focused on talking about our faith, spirituality, mental health, and how to have happy, healthy, thriving relationships. And before we go any further, I would love to introduce my distinguished co-host.
Hi, I'm Trisha Flowers. I am a minister and a lifestyle coach. Welcome.
Welcome. I don't know why she stopped.
Well, yes, I do.
Because she's going to be taking the lead on today's show. But before we get into our topic of today, just want to remind you all that we are actively engaged in our Faith Over Fear Challenge, and we are actually just made it to month 2 of 3. Today would mark the first day of the second month. So if you haven't already, please visit the Facebook page, You Plant, We Water, where you can join a community group for support and to see posts, updates, things of that nature. We're also going to have resources and tips and things to just get us through. Whenever you see this show is the absolute perfect time to join the Faith Over Fear Challenge. And again, you're just going to do it for 90 days. The first 30, we were focused on mindfulness and self-awareness, which included things like having affirmations, journaling, gratitude, and even just taking some time to be still. But now, that we're entering the second month, this month's focus is on actually building the faith, right? So we're going to strengthen our faith muscles. I work out, y'all. And so what you know is if you work out, have ever lifted weights, or even if you haven't, but you've heard of other people doing it, the more you do it, right, the stronger it gets, the more you have to increase the weight. So we have to exercise our faith muscles. So for this week in particular, we're going to do that by focusing on scriptures and reading our scriptures daily and or adding daily devotionals or inspirational texts that are promoting our faith and positivity. So my suggestions of things you can do, obviously the Bible never returns void, so you can absolutely use that. There are some great apps with manifestations, right? And all manifestation is you saying something out loud, because as we know, our words give life. There's power or death in the tongue. And so if you say these things, it'll sink into your spirit. And so you can say things like, I'm more than a conqueror, right? Saying it out loud, similar to your affirmations. But again, just getting those inspirational texts at this point that are going to promote your faith and positivity. Said there was 2 things, but I forgot the other one. And I was right on the second one. Oh, I have a devotional that I'm going to recommend. So if you're interested in that, please visit the Facebook page where I will have a picture and a link to that particular devotional. We also got some products and things that we are going to be able to share. We're partnering with some individuals. So good things on the horizon. Given that we're at month 2, would love to hear how things are going for you all. I'm going to check in with my sister real quick to see how have things been going since you've been doing the challenge. And remember, it's more of a mindset. It's not like you have to do something every single day. It's just you have to remind yourself that this is where you're at and what you're trying to accomplish. But how's it been now that you're entering month 2?
Things are well, but as usual, whenever you are committing yourself and going into what God has for you, you're going to have challenges. So there have been some things where I'm like, somebody's trying me. And let me just say for the record, I'm not the trying type, right? Because I will meet you right where we're supposed to be at. And that is not always good. God hasn't quite delivered me from that.
There's our petty part.
But overall, my life is going extremely well. But there have been those moments where I'm like, really? But remember, whenever you get close to doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to always have some obstacles and some challenges, because why would the devil ever want you to be what you're supposed to be doing?
Ooh, come on now, say that. I can agree with that, right? And we can't wait to hear how it's going for you all. But absolutely. And the other thing I could say, I've been doing it a little longer than everyone else because I did a pilot of it. But clarity, right? So being able to discern more things and more quickly has been something that I've noticed, even in the challenges, because the challenges are coming. So I've had a better spirit of discernment and also more creativity. Like God is giving me more ideas, hence some of the connections we're making and retreats and all these things. So though there are challenges, I'm excited, right? It's like there's someone here in the studio who's a boxer. I feel like that hype, like let's go, let's get in the ring, let's do this, right? So join us if you haven't already, and we can't wait to hear how it's going for you. So that's it about the Faith Over Fear Challenge. We have an amazing topic that the Lord gave to my distinguished co-host, my lovely sister. So I'm going to hand it over to her.
So, as I was coming to the taping, God had told me about counterfeits, right? And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to work, because we already pretty much have a topic beforehand. And I'm like, well, and me, I'm talking to God. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. And so, God being him, so like, it's definitely going to work, and you're definitely going to talk about it. So prior to this show being taped, that's why we came on. I don't know if we came on later on time. My sister had told me, you're going to do the show, and I'm going to come in a little bit later, because she ran against traffic. And so I was like, okay. So then I was telling her, as we were preparing and talking over what we were going to do and how we're going to do it, the counterfeit came up. And so I was telling her, a lot of times when you're in, again, obedience with God, you come up against things that you don't feel like you're qualified for. That's where the counterfeit comes in, right? You feel like, I can't do that. And God is like, yes, you are. You're going to do it because I said you're going to do it. And this is what I mean. And so a living example is right now, I'm like, you want me to do it? And I had to told, I told my daughter, oh no, I'm the co-host. I'm not the host. So I'm gonna always have her here. But God was preparing me for what's to come, right? And so for me, I was just a little nervous and a little taken aback, like, what am I gonna do? So that's where the counterfeit came in. And so I had given her an example of a lot of times in your life, God is challenging you to be your authentic self. And when we are our authentic selves, we are vulnerable, right? Because now you're able to meet me truly. And I'm guarded. So most of the time, you're not really seeing who I am, because I'm like, I don't know you. I don't trust what's going on. And I am a little guarded. But when I am being my true authentic self, one, you can actually get to know me, and me as a really good person, right? But that's why I'm guarded. So that's where the counterfeit part came in, and not really being able to feel like you're enough. And a lot of times it's like an imposter syndrome, right? Is this really
Professional knowing the clinical terms?
Well, you are my sister. No, so, but you have that. And when we have that, it limits your ability to be what God is calling you to be. And for myself, prophetically, let me just say this. I haven't always done the calling over my life because I get scared. Because I already saw what he told me I needed to be, but that would require me to be authentic. And I don't always want to be transparent with everything. Like, I like to have a little secret self for me, but God has called me to this place where I have to be honest, and I have to just go ahead and say things the way they are. And sometimes those are not the conversations that people want to hear, because it's, like I will call you to the mat and tell you, like, that's not of God. What you're doing is not of God. Like, so, and people like, no, 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 like, no, 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 no. It's not. And so that's where I'm at in my life. And he just said, like, counterfeit, stop allowing people to make you not be who I ordained you to be. And that's for everybody. Be your true self, because when you're in that moment, your blessings are coming. But when you're not, you're delaying who you really are. Yes, keep on shining. Latrice said that.
Yes, I love Latrice. And you're right, Latrice. Another great topic. So come on, host. I'm gonna drop the co off of there. But you're spot on, and I love. So whether it's feeling like a counterfeit or fraud when you are trying to move in your calling, or if you want to use the clinical term, it's called imposter syndrome. And what's funny is that as counselors, when we're going through our training, this is something that we encounter all the time, feeling ourselves like an imposter, because they give you all this information and then you go in a room with somebody who's literally presenting their whole life to you, and you're like, I'm not worthy. I don't know what I'm doing. And so much of what any of us do is pushing past that fear, right? There was a seed planted in you a long time ago. We're trying to water it. But however you water it, this is so timely, right? It's faith over fear. And so when my sister called me, well, I called her, be transparent, because I was on Stony. I had to drop my kids off at a track meet, and Stony's crazy. It's 63rd. Then there's no parking. It was just a whole thing. And I knew all along when I was first asked to jump in this way that it was going to be close and that I might not make it to my show on time. But I was telling my sister the counterfeit part resonates to me because of trying to be everything to everyone, right? We all have so many dual roles. Maybe you're a wife, a mother, a sister, a daughter. You might be the boss at your job, or who knows, but you're trying to wear so many hats. And I know for me, I don't want to let anyone down. And so part of showing up in my authentic self has a lot to do with prioritizing. And so as I was talking to Trisha, I was fully confident that she would do an amazing job. I did feel guilty but I had no doubt that she would do an amazing job. And this topic, I thought, wow, that had to be God. It was so timely. And then for myself and rushing and trying to get here and take care of this, I had to prioritize and decide my children will come first, even before me, right? That I want to support their dreams first, then mine. And look at God, he made a way so all things can happen, because just knowing that and saying that to myself calmed my fear. I just put that faith there and knew whatever was meant to happen today was going to happen. So I love it, right? As you were talking about, either feeling like a counterfeit or imposter syndrome, and you were saying, you got to push through. One thing that came to mind, and I'd love to hear what you think about it, right, is when we share our dream with people, right? So you might know what that dream is. What are your thoughts on? Do you tell people?
So I have experienced both, right? And in this point in my life, I have decided that I'm only going to share my dreams with the people who have always been supportive of me, because they come with a different quality. You've always had people when you've said, oh, well, I want to be a shoe shiner. And they're like, well, you don't need to do no shoe shining because ain't nobody making no money in shoe shining, right? And that puts down what God may have authentically told you. That maybe you are a shoe shiner. He didn't tell me that. This is just an example. But that could be the thing that God called you to do, especially if you were doing that for free anyway. And so that's the thing that we have to be aware of. There are people that are dream crushers. They're out there. And when you identify that, I like to play a game, which may or may not be good, but I like to share something that I know is dumb just to see if what they're going to say. Like, you know what? Today I want to be Smurfette. And if you're like, so if you're like, you can't be Smurfette. Like, I definitely could be Smurfette. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be Smurfette on Broadway. Like, oh. See, you have to test the water to see before you're in a real situation where this is your passion and you may or may not know what that looks like. test it with something that you know is not something that's serious to you and see what that person says. A person, me personally, I'm a cheerer. I'm going to cheer you on no matter if I get what you're doing or not. I'm like, well, you know what? That probably is going to be awesome. I've never heard that before in my life, but I think it's good. I think you can roll with that.
You are iron. You will sharpen some iron. She got you.
Vice versa. And that's the thing. So you have to test the person first to see, is this your person? And once you find your tribe of people, now they may, and I have, because sometimes I do have rose colored glasses on, and it can be something that is maybe a little out there. And and no, and then my family will be like, now Trisha, did you think about this before you, like, I want to definitely have a roller coaster part, but I'm not going to have any roller coaster. Like, no, we don't think that's a good one. Like, okay, I'll go back to the drawing board. So just test the waters and see if this person is genuine. And even if I'm going to give you the truth, and I hope people hear this, your truth is not to be something that is cutting. That's not of God. Your truth is something that's supposed to be supportive. So although I may not think that this roller coaster park with no roller coasters is a great idea, I'm going to challenge you to tell me, why do you think it's such a good idea? And if you can't come up with a reason, usually that makes us stop. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I love it. Like, I don't disagree with anything you've said. I had to learn the hard way to proceed cautiously with sharing your dreams with people, because, as you said, people will quickly rain on your parade. And half the time, that wasn't what God said for you to do. He didn't say, go tell, this is the dream I give you, now go tell a whole bunch of people, right? And what I always think about is Noah while he's building that ark, right? If he had just been going around telling people, you know what, I think God told me to build this giant ark. Who knows if you, because let's just be real. The people around you are gonna be like, that's dumb. Well, it ain't even enough wood. Where you gonna get the animals? Well, sometimes you gotta move. That's a that was a rap lyric I was about to got to move in silence. I don't fucking rap. And just kind of, as Trisha said, if you know you have some trusted individuals, maybe you can go. But sometimes it's something that's seen. God can plant a dream that is so big that it's your mind can't wrap it around. And so maybe you wait until you feel a little bit more secure in it, and then you tell someone who you feel you can trust, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I've definitely learned the hard way, not just for people running on a parade, but I've had people steal my ideas. People frequently steal my ideas.
That's really great. Well, and I will say this, right? So she has really, really great ideas. That's not my area. Like, I don't, that's not where my gift is. And that's the other thing. This is not on topic, but let me just say this. Be you and get out of the other person. I'm not her. She's not me. We are two authentically different people, which is why we have the show. You're getting a different background and different perspective of things. But when we want to be someone else, again, that counterfeit. I'm not Dr. Flowers. I am a Flowers, but I'm not Dr. Flowers. And so I can't be her and she can't be me, but uniquely together, we can give you guys something that can help you and get you into the direction where you are facing your fears and you are building your faith. But that's something that we do. And I also wanted to say, I think our mom said, sometimes God doesn't give you the gift of whatever it is for other people. It was only for you. And when we tell other people, it deters us from doing what God said. So like if I tell you something like I'm going to build an airplane, when that happened, the person doing it, that would have sounded ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But now here we are flying on airplanes, right? So sometimes it's just for you.
Well said. And just to kind of circle back on your point about we're all unique and fearfully and wonderfully made, but we can't be somebody else. And yeah, when I say I have a gazillion ideas. So I'm a good person to come to when you got the dream and you want some other ideas. Like, oh yeah, you could do this too. You could do this too. Now, what I'm not is following through on my own ideas. I'm like, yeah, maybe some other time. But what you have to learn, and I learned this, there was a season where I was a real estate broker and investor. And one thing they taught us is you don't have to be the expert at everything. You only have to be smart enough to know where to find the expert. So yes, I sold real estate. I didn't have to be a real estate attorney, an appraiser, a tax attorney. I didn't have to know all that. I just needed to know how to find them. And so I loved what you were saying about the dream, because as you're cultivating that dream, God will tell you when it's time to bring in other people who have different expertise and skill sets so that you can bring that dream to fruition. When it comes to like professionally, as a doctor, we have to present at conferences and things. And I'm so grateful that I found a close friend and colleague who is a match for me, because I have ideas. And she's just like, girl, what we gonna do? You know, you come up with ideas. And she, before becoming a counselor, was an executive administrator. So this wonderful woman, Dr. Amber Gardner, I'm talking about you, this woman can make something come to fruition. She will think of every detail and make it happen. And together, we've done some wonderful things. So sometimes it's about finding that perfect complement. That's right, Tanya. That's us. They not like us, or maybe some of them are. So I love it. Any other thoughts about, just pushing past that feeling? Because this is always going to happen when something is being birthed in you. I'm using the word birth, but I even remember feeling that way when I was going to give birth for the first time, afraid, right? Like, I do this. Like, even though, telling yourself, everybody's done it. They used to do it in caves. Like, well, I'm not in a cave. I'm nervous. But when you think about that thing that's being birthed in you and trying to overcome the enemy, because the devil is the author of lies, telling you you're a counterfeit or an imposter, what other, kind of thoughts you have?
So the first thing is to know that God doesn't make mistakes, right? So if you remember that part of who you are, and that he made you for this particular point in time, you're going to be okay. I remember it was something that was said like, there are a million McDonald's, right? Mm-hmm. So why did Burger King come around? Why did Wendy's come around? Because it's not about the actual thing, it's you. You make the thing different. And so what I would say in a nutshell is be authentically you. Yeah. And do not be afraid of what that looks like. Some people don't like it, some people not. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that because I'm my own cup of tea. So again, and that took time. I used to want to make sure that people understood me. You can't understand me, and I know you guys have already known that. So I'm a neurodivergent person because I'm dyslexic. So I do not see the world the way that everybody else does. I see it uniquely differently, but that uniquely different thing that I used to be like, I used to pray this. I just want to be normal, Lord. And God was like, you're not. You're not going to be normal, but I can make you exceptional. And he has. And so that's the thing. Just knowing that you're okay the way you are. And for me, it took some getting used to. Like I told you guys, I'm dyslexic. So I struggle with making sure that I am seeing what I'm writing. Speaking is easy for me, but making sure that I write, which is easy for her, comes easy. And that's, again, knowing your skill set. So I don't write the things. I asked her let me stop. I can write things. I can't. But if it is something that I know that I need to have it a certain way, I know for myself that's not my skill set. So I will ask her. And she does get bothered when I do it because I do it often. But that's what a little sister does. I get bothered. I get bothered with my But no, all right. First of all, thank you, Trish. I don't remember if you ever shared that on the show, but thank you for sharing it again, because I know it's going to help so many people just to embrace who they are, because there is no such thing as normal. That's what we say as counselors. And if there were, who wants to be normal? Who doesn't want to be exceptional? Normal is boring, right? I love Tanisha's comment about we can't build businesses in the kingdom alone, right? God never designed us to do the work alone. So he made, each of us has a unique purpose and a dream that he's given us, but we will need one another to bring them to fruition. So to our points earlier about finding your tribe, finding your supports, and most of all, being a support to yourself, knowing that you got this, right? He wouldn't have given it to you if you couldn't do it. You are enough. And that was one of the things that someone told me. And I'm like, what? Like, you are enough right now for whatever this is that you're going through. You're enough. And that's okay. Like, we always are looking for something or someone outside of us. And if you are looking for something or someone outside of you, the only place that I suggest that be is Jesus. So that's the thing.
Amen. Because the truth is, whether people admit it or not, they are so confused trying to figure themselves out. They really can't feel you up because they're trying to. We all, what is this? I'm thinking of scripture. Each of us has to work out our own salvation, right? There's so much going on in each person's individual life. I have to I don't want to put my baby on Front Street, but my son, I have to tell him that he has anxiety. He gets really worried about what people are going to think or how they perceive him. And I often have to remind him that every person in that room is also worried about how everybody else is going to see them or perceive them. You may be a little more worried about it than others, but just know you're not alone in that, and that it's okay. Even that is okay, because having that performance anxiety is what has made him truly exceptional and excellent to where he's, received so many accolades and awards. And maybe if he wasn't worried, he might not. So ultimately what we're telling you as we approach month 2 of the Faith Over Fear Challenge, we're telling you, one, as Sis just said, you are more than enough. You are totally equipped right now to do whatever it is that God has called you to do. So start doing the work. There's a meme, and it's funny, I just told one of my clients this too, and she almost cried. I'm gonna cry thinking about it. But there's a
I don't want to cry.
No, you probably won't. In that moment,
Okay.
I hadn't heard her whole story, and she had a lot going on. But it's a meme that I saw early on when I was going to grad school and was trying to keep myself encouraged. And it was the ruby red slippers from The Wizard of Oz. And it was saying, my dear, you've had the power all along, right? From the beginning of the movie, she had the ruby red slippers, y'all. She just didn't know how to use them, but she always had the power. And the truth is, that's the case for each and every one of us right now. In this moment, you've got it. You've got everything that you need to start bringing your dream to fruition, right? And I'm not saying that your dream may not be something that's going to take years to fully manifest, but start today. Today. Don't wait till tomorrow.
I agree 100%. And just know, again, pray through it, look for your tribe, and you are enough. That's all you need to keep moving in that direction. Because again, God would not give you an assignment that's too great.
So well said. And if you haven't figured out, okay, because some people, you might not have a lot of positive people in your life or people who will sow into you or water in you. We are here, y'all. You can contact us. You can direct message us. You can reach us through the comments anytime on the show. And I guarantee you, we will support you. Like that's one thing. I've actually had students, they got to give you an evaluation at the end of each quarter, which is nerve-wracking, right? Because they're evaluating you and you might be giving them an F. And thank you, Mom. Before I say this comment, you're right. Only person who could redesign us is our maker, which he is doing multiple times. But I actually got a complaint on one of my student evaluations that said I was too sunny. I'm just like, well, I wouldn't be me, so you should just not take classes with me. Like, if you could complain about, oh, she graded late, she did this, she did that, but that would be like saying she's too tall. That's who I am.
So I'm going to say this last thing, because we were just talking about this before. Remember, we were saying all of this ruckus, and somebody just recently last week had told me that is a gift from God, and people can see that, and it's agitating, and they want to dim that light. And the reason why they want to dim that light is because it makes them uncomfortable, right? And they'll say things and they'll try to devalue you by telling you you're too this, you're too that. Well, again, like I said, God made me this way. And I'm not telling you that life is perfect, but I also know for myself, I'm going to always find a reason to smile. And no one's going to take that smile away.
It is, but I don't, sir. I am the sunshine. Did the sun be too sunny? Nah, just kidding, y'all. So we hope that we have encouraged you to continue your walk, to pursue your dreams, to activate that faith over fear. And we are not joking when we're saying we are here. We would love to hear from you. We would love to support you, whether it's just through an encouraging message back, or maybe you're actually in need of more formalized therapy or counseling, if you would like to work with me, you can direct message me and I will see if I can fit you into my caseload. If I can't, or if you're just looking for referrals, sometimes people reach out to me about how do you find a good counselor? How do you find a fit? I can send you information on that or talk you through that. Trisha is a life coach and minister. So there's so many things I'll let you speak to.
And so the thing is, you just need your support and finding that tribe. And what we're saying and what we're offering to you is to be a part of our tribe, because at the end of the day, clearly you guys seen enough now to realize that we're going to be pulling for you. And we genuinely want to use our platform to make sure that we are, one, giving honor to God and making sure that the people that are in our influence, right, because we don't know how many people are watching this, get the resolve that God is saying. So before we come on to this show, we are prayed over. So we are trying to make sure that we're giving you the best authentic versions of ourselves so that we can use this platform to help as many people as possible, because we know we all need help.
That is true. Yes. And you are definitely getting the authentic version of ourselves. Anybody knows this is exactly how we are. And especially this is how I am, even with my clients, right? Even when we're talking about heavy things. Now, I'm not going to joke during a heavy moment, but what I do try to do is sometimes with some of my clients, I'm the only person they're going to come into contact, the only other human being they're going to have contact with that day. So I do try to bring some lightness, some levity, some brightness, along with, I'll cry with a client, right? And what we'll do, I can't break down, I'm like, oh, and then they're like, are you okay? Can't be that kind of thing. But what I learned through, I think it was counseling and one of my professors, the strongest people, right? And so this is what I'm about to tell y'all is the reverse of what they make you think. The strong people are the ones who can feel the emotions of somebody else, but somebody else's emotions could break you. You can go there, feel that emotion, and that's somebody who's strong. And so as counselors, we show our strength to our clients by feeling what they're feeling. Like I can feel sad with them in that moment, and I might allow a tear or two to shed. But strength is I don't let it consume me, right? So that's how I'm balancing it in that setting. But
I love that, and that's I didn't know that. So I'm not a counselor, but I am highly empathetic.
Yes.
And so with that being said, again, that's another gift, right? So being able to put yourself in a situation that you've never been in and understanding, I'm so sorry, which I had told one of my good friends, that's how we became friends. She had shared something personal. And I'm like, I'm so sorry that happened. She's like, no one's ever apologized to me. Why did you? And I'm like, well, if it were me, I would want an apology. So I'm sorry that happened. So but I never knew that until now.
Yeah. And, I felt it on both sides. So I do it and I have my clients say in that moment when they see that tear from like, I've never felt so understood. But I felt it. I went and saw a counselor when I was in school. I had like 3 sessions. And that's what she did. I was telling her my story and I saw her and I was just like, wow, right? Like, somebody gets me.
Mm-hmm.
So don't look, I don't know how we got on that, but don't be afraid if you have the strength and ability and the gift to do so, to come alongside others in their darkest moments and stay with them, making it about them. You don't have to solve it, you don't have to fix it. You just want to walk alongside them because so many people are scared to walk alongside somebody in their darkest moments. Right. So I think we are rounding out today's show. Again, we want to thank you for tuning in. This is You Plant with Water, where we focus on combining faith, spirituality, mental health, and helping you have a happy, healthy, thriving, not just one relationship, but all relationships. We encourage you to visit our Facebook page at You Plant We Water, where you can get more information, but most importantly, where you can join us in the Faith Over Fear Challenge. I feel like I'm missing some things. We'd like to thank our executive producer, Bishop Lloyd Kohler Jr., pastor of Mission Covenant Church. Let's make sure I said that correctly. Anything I'm missing?
I'm going to just throw this plug out there. At Mission Covenant Baptist Church, we also have an event space. You guys can please.
It's not Baptist. That's your Baptist.
No, I'm so right. I'm sorry. you excuse me.
That's okay.
I said that's the
Michigan
dyslexic in me.
We
But
we were
we were.
Baptist, so
We need you guys to go over to that page. And again, if you guys have anything wholesome, fun, and bringing light, you guys are welcome to share that space, and it's at an exceptional price. And we just, again, whatever you guys need, we got you.
we gotcha. And last but not least, stay tuned. Retreats are on their way, y'all, and we would love to have you there. So I think that is about it. Thank you for joining us. And remember, you plant, we water. Look at the thing. Oh, it's going in the okay. But
Bye.